Backus, you came up as Mr. Clutch tonight with the final point to put your team ahead. What was going through your mind?
Yeah, it's not me. I gotta give all thanks and praise to the big man downstairs, Beelzebub. Where's my 666 correct? The great deceiver.
Backman, take me through that emotional speech you gave during the final timeout.
I said, guys, let's rise like the king of Babylon, rise to the occasion. 6 seconds left. Let's make 6 passes and get these 6 points.
Now, Backman, are you guys going to be back to business as normal, or are you guys going to celebrate this one a little bit?
No, you have to. You got to revel in it a little bit. We're going to head back, hotel, maybe have a small, intimate black mass. It is the Witch's Sabbath and all. Yes, some black candles, something completely chill, some blasphemous sexuality. Hey, bro, I got to run.
Always take your side.
Get out of here. Well, that's going to do it for us here. A devout man with a lot to celebrate tonight. Now back to you guys in the studio for the box score. It starts right now.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Howard Collins for box score.
Hello and welcome to the Box Score. I'm Brock in Los Angeles, joined by the Danets in Milford, Connecticut. Gentlemen, the sports Emmys were last night and the statues were flying, but none for Mr. Pink Eye, Bob Costas. He was left out in the cold. Now, Paulie, is this a changing of the guard? Is there room now for DP to get one?
Well, Dan's got to get nominated first. He wasn't even nominated last night, so as much as Bob Costas was left out in the cold, Dan didn't get nominated, which was kind of salty. I don't know if Dan's salty about it because he's been there a lot of times, but you know, that wasn't brought up, and it's a touchy topic.
Do you think he expects to be?
I think he'd be more surprised.
Or
I think I would be, and he would be more surprised when he's not nominated for Best Host than he is. Like, I don't think a nomination is a surprise. I think not being nominated is a surprise.
Could be. Well, there was a touching moment last night when Ernie Johnson won for Best In-Studio Host and gave the trophy to Stuart Scott's daughters and called in earlier and talked about it.
You and I have both been to these enough times, you know, to hear Bob Costas' name, you know, called, and we always look forward to this time of year to hear another Bob speech. And so I did not expect to hear my name called at all, and I fully expected that Stewart's would be. And so when it wasn't, I just, you know, his daughters were there, and the bunch of ESPN anchors who had worked with him had given him a tribute earlier in the night. It was just the thing to do.
Yeah, Ernie Johnson really came off great in that interview. It was a combination of serious, and Mike had some good advice on Cantor. He said, you know, Cantor doesn't have you, you have Cantor. And then he was hysterical with Shaq. So I thought it was a great interview. He came off really well the entire time.
Let's get into the awkward part of this. Let's not kid each other. If you're Ernie Johnson and you give away your Emmy for sports host, that's a big honor for a guy like him. And I don't know if he's won it before. Maybe once, I think. I'm not sure. Let's say he hasn't. Let's say he's never won it before. And you give it a great gesture, a great move. He's still technically the winner, whether he receives a medal or not. But with the Emmy Awards, you guys know that if you want one, you can buy one.
Yeah, right.
So let's say this show won, the Dan Patrick Show, we would get one. Then if each of us individually wanted to purchase one, we can. It's a few $100. Do you think that Ernie Johnson purchases one to keep in his house in addition to it? I know it's an awkward topic.
He doesn't seem like someone that would. I know.
Would you?
I would. I think if you worked hard and you're recognized by your peers and colleagues, and you guys, that's a big deal.
But why would you buy the trophy?
I shouldn't have to buy it.
But I was thinking about it when I was driving today. If you bought, we won a Marconi Award for a radio program we did back in 01, 02, and I wasn't the executive producer of this program. I was the producer. So the executive producer got the award.
Yeah.
I didn't get one.
Did we get Marconi's the last time the show won?
Did
Marconi?
Dan did.
Dan won like best.
I think we got Baby Marconi.
Yeah, we got.
But they had Dan's name on them. It was an individual award.
Yes, it was.
Dan
for
had
him.
like small versions made up for us.
But would you purchase and go out of your pocket, whatever money you have, to buy an award? It's kind of weird. That's kind of a weird thing to do, because then you're saying, I need to have this award so I can have it in my house so people can ask me about the award so I can talk about myself.
Well,
or am I thinking too deep?
I don't know. I wouldn't look at it as like kind of shallow as that, maybe. Like, I would just want it because, like, hell yeah, man, it's an Emmy. Like, we got that.
Yeah.
We earned it.
You earned it. You can't control that
it.
they only give you one for the group, and if it means shelling out some bucks and just as a reminder forever to put on your mantelpiece.
Well, you wouldn't forget.
No, I think it's a special thing to put in your office or put in your house, and I don't think it's bragging or being arrogant to display that. People win trophies all the time, and they don't just necessarily hide them in boxes.
And it certainly is.
No, not hide them. I'm saying if you would actually have to pursue it.
You have to pay for it.
Yeah, no, I understand.
Go buy it, no big deal. But it's definitely not so that when somebody walks through my front door, they see it and then have to ask me about it.
Yeah.
If they're coming through my door, they probably know that I'm on TV, and they would probably know that I just won an Emmy too.
Would you post it against your door, like weld it to the front of your door so people to get in, they have to make
Like
direct
you
eye?
could knock the Emmy.
Yeah, it's like
it turns
a
into
knock
yeah.
swing Emmy.
I gotta tell you, I wouldn't buy it.
You wouldn't.
No, because first of all, I live in a New York City apartment and we don't have a room. But the key is, I think it's more important to have, if you had a choice, you can have it on your resume or you can have the hardware. You're gonna take the resume 1,000 times out
But
of
if I have
1,000.
the hardware, it's not like I'm not allowed to put it on.
I know, but
Like you can either
also
take the
too-
trophy or put it on your resume. Which is it?
I mean,
problem with
sports Emmys. I will say this: when Dan wins, they're important, but come on. I mean, they're like the real Emmys. They're so stupid. They're not based on any quality.
McLovin does not speak for the Dan Patrick.
Yeah, no,
I mean, Frasier would beat The Simpsons every
typical
year
writer.
for the Emmy.
Right.
Typical writer.
Right.
Fashion TV.
Oh, you
talking
think there's any
heads.
rime or reason to who wins a sports Emmy? Come on.
I don't
I would
care, but I
hope.
would like to be in that rhyme and reason and have one of those so I could be like, this thing, it's really great. It really doesn't mean anything, though.
But you have the opportunity to turn it down.
I like what
and
you're
put it down.
saying. I agree with that. That would be a
Hell
nice
no.
position.
I want like 50,000 of those.
All right, let's make the transition from touching moments to men without pants, and you had one of them on today, Dodgers manager Don Mattingly doing his best Todd Fritz impression.
Don Mattingly joins us now. Donnie, I was told that you're not doing the interview with pants on.
Exactly. I thought that was part of the deal. So I'm sitting here in the hotel room, fully dressed without pants on.
Are you sending me the pants that you wore when you got tossed?
Yeah, because I need to send the mannequin too. So eventually we'll have the mannequin.
I
the mannequin
have
in the
a
background
mannequin.
there.
I have a mannequin that it's going to call the Mattingly mannequin here, and we're just going to dress. Every time you get tossed, you just send me an item.
I've always loved Don Mattingly, and now obviously more than ever that he's doing a national radio and TV interview. Assuming he was telling the truth, hopefully he was sans pants. We both don't wear pants in hotel rooms for far different reasons, so I don't think Donnie Baseball wants to be lumped into to my reputation on the road. But very cool that he's planning on sending us his pants. Hopefully he'll sign it and write a little note for Dan, and we can find a nice place in the man cave for it. But anytime you can have a major sports figure join us. Not wearing pants, that becomes one of my best friends
Now,
instantly.
big topic, Brock. We stayed in a other hotel this weekend, a little different setup, a little closer to our studio. Did it change your plan at all, your style, when you did your 12-hour session?
It did not. There was a lot of TV. There was a lot of lotion involved. It was very relaxing. I think I said the
High
only
definition.
high definition. The only difference.
That's a big upgrade.
Yeah, I think I set my alarm for like 20 minutes later instead of having to take a cab from Midtown to our studios in Soho. It was nice to sleep in a little bit and stay up a little later watching the basketball playoff games, knowing that when we got out the door we can just walk right around the corner and get started. But other than that, it's just another special day for
Do you
myself.
tip the maid?
I used to, in all honesty, I used to always leave money. Recently, I've stopped doing that for no reason other than that I just stopped doing that. But especially for what I may do in a hotel room, I should probably double what I've been leaving as opposed to taking away from what they may or may not have waiting for them the next morning.
Well, speaking of money, McLovin, is there enough money in the world to let you sit next to a pantsless Fritzy for 3 hours?
Oh, no.
Actually, you know what?
Tough question.
Sitting next to a pants Fritzy is not. I've actually become immune to the fact that
It's been a while.
you're constantly aware that there's only one layer of denim between you and Fritzy's private parts.
That it's a very kind of a small desk, and he's a good sport.
And also, Todd will creep over into my area a little bit.
I will. Our knees have his right knee and my left knee through no fault of McLovin's. It can get a little cozy at times, and knowing that I go commando cannot be pleasant or comfortable for Fritz McLovin, especially over a 3-hour period every day, 5 days a week.
All right, well, on that note, stay tuned because things get even more awkward here on the box score. You know what's not awkward? Getting behind the wheel of a Ram 1500 Eco Diesel, that's right. Every truck can climb a hill, every truck can haul a trailer, every truck can tow a boat, but not everybody has the most fuel-efficient half-ton truck on the road, and it is certainly cooler than the other side of the pillow. Get more facts at ramtrucks.com. Guts, glory, Ram. Welcome back to the Box Score. A story that garnered a lot of attention yesterday was former Knicks president Isaiah Thomas getting a job with the New York Liberty of the WNBA. Now, McLovin, how in the world is this guy getting second chances when he has done such a horrible job in the front office?
Well, that's what we kind of tried to ask him today. Dan sort of asked it, then asked it again in some ways, and I don't know. I just have no answer for you.
Well, I don't know, like, did we talk about, like, hey, you know what, actually, when you were with the Knicks, you were actually really tough. Forget the sexual harassment thing. Like, you actually did a really awful job.
Yeah.
How do you keep getting that chance?
Yeah, but believe me, the Knicks fans, they don't care about the sexual harassment lawsuit. They care that he was an awful coach and an awful president, and cost the team lots of money, made bad decisions, and lost a lot, and took a whole era down. And that's the only topic.
But the irony too of the sexual harassment and taking over a woman's team is just, as Dan said, irony, hypocrisy. It's just, it's you can't wrap your head around. Like, nobody has an explanation.
I'm surprised he got another job as an executive, much less with the same organization being paid by the same people.
Right.
Dan actually opened the interview. It's funny. Dan said, "Isaiah, I thought I was reading a mock headline when I saw that you were out of the Liberty." So Dan didn't really hold back that much.
Well, there's no reason to. We talked about that before. We were gonna do we ease in with Isaiah? Because sometimes you do ease in on a tense topic guest because you could butter him up more. But I was like, let's just go for it, man. We don't have that much time. His phone wasn't working. We were having trouble getting him on. We have a short segment. Let's get right to it. And Isaiah is so, I use a phrase, I don't know if it's the right phrase, purposely aloof, that he comes off as if he's like floating on a air, and let's talk about the New York Liberty. No, let's talk about the past. He's like, we're just here to talk about it.
Or to act like you don't get it. You don't see any kind of irony or tie-in at all to what happened in 07 and being back with the team. That he almost acted like, that's really strange, or like some kind of reach by Dan or anybody to have any kind of issue or problem with.
Well, he plays with the language a little bit, where he says, I wasn't found guilty of anything. The Knicks were held responsible for everything that happened. Well, okay, that may be true. They were found liable, but for your actions.
Right. By a jury.
So it's like, it was your actions that got the Knicks in trouble.
Right.
So he fudges the language a little bit there. Yeah.
Oh, Seton, you brought up the Willie Mays and Derek Jeter interviews today on the show. Where does this interview rank in awkwardness with those?
It's not even in the same sphere of other awkward interviews that we've had. This was just sort of like, it never really went anywhere. Like, you tried to get something out of him, but he really wouldn't give it. And there have been, I thought the Tanya Harding one was way more awkward than this.
So crazy. Whitey Herzog.
Whitey Herzog, there's a whole bunch of them. This was just sort of like a, all right, Isaiah, I
wasn't actually that surprised. Isaiah is notoriously, I can't even think of the words I'm looking for, but kind of like dislikable and vague. And he did other interviews today, and I think every other interview came off probably the similar.
Yeah.
And people wonder why people have an issue with Isaiah Thomas's demeanor. I think it shows you why. He's an off-putting guy.
But I seem to remember having him on and it going really well.
We had him once in studio.
And he was great.
We had him once in studio way, way back when, and he couldn't have been nicer, everybody. But even nicer, I asked him a question about something, he goes, you really think that? Like, I gave my opinion about something, and I asked his opinion about something. I wish I remember the topic. He had my hand, he goes, you really think that, do you? And he turned and went to Dan, like, what the hell is that? I go, okay.
That's so odd.
Oh, that is very odd. All right, coming up, we're going to get super odd. We're going to play a little movie game. Stay with us. We are back here on the Box Score. A lot of athletes over the years have dabbled outside of the world of sports. Some have grabbed the microphone. Hell, Daryl Strawberry sang Chocolate Strawberry. Look it up. Others have taken to the stage and screen and given us the great moments. We are going to ask about those guys today in a quiz we call Danettes on Film. We're going to mix it up a little bit today. It is a Fritz Paul, I believe, and O'Connor Pearl. So first one is up. First team up is the Paul Fritz combination. Here's your question. Allen Iverson crossed over Michael Jordan during his career and was the fast-talking street enforcer Slick Rick in the TV show New York Undercover. Is that true or false?
Slick Rick. Well, I didn't watch a lot of New York Undercover, but I don't think... I love Slick Rick the rapper, I'll tell you that.
Wouldn't we have... Remember something about Allen Iverson playing? We always like to try to get them on as guests when they play some kind of TV. We're going to say that is false. Allen Iverson playing Slick Rick.
False.
You are correct. It is false. Next up, Team Pearl Connor. Name the character played by NBA legend Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the classic 80s comedy Airplane.
What the heck? Roger.
I was gonna say Roger.
Roger.
Need a last name, please.
Oh, is he?
Murdoch.
Okay.
What? Somebody's named Murdoch.
Yeah, and it was
Kareem
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, so we're going to give that to you. Correct.
Yeah.
Back to you,
Roger
Paul
Murdoch.
Fritz.
Yeah.
Oh, so we had Roger Murdoch.
Yeah.
Yeah, you tell your dad to drag Bill Walton up and down the court.
I've seen a grown man naked.
Yeah, back to you, Paul Fritz. Wilt Chamberlain once scored 100 points in the game, pretty cool. But what was the name of the warrior he portrayed in the cinematic classic Conan the Destroyer?
Oh man!
I've seen this at least 5 times.
No idea.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he is. He's great. Fritzy would could answer who the blonde was in Conan.
Yeah.
Too.
Is it some superhero type name or just like
You
a
have no
regular-
idea.
I've no-
Just
I've never
tap
seen
out.
It. I've never seen Conan. Sure.
Man,
Like Babu or something.
I was thinking the word B.
Yeah.
It starts with a B. That's our answer.
Something with a B.
You're close, but that is incorrect. The name is Bombata. Bombata.
Yes.
Babu, you were close.
Yeah, Babu, Bombata. Come on.
Oh, it's gonna haunt me.
Babu, yabble dabble. All right, Team Pearl Connor, you're up. In the movie Kingpin, Roger Clemens made an appearance as a character named Skidmark. True or false?
Roger Clemens. I remember Lance Armstrong was. Didn't he have a part in that?
I think it's.
No, maybe
I
that
think
was
it's
the-
false.
Well, the Fairley brothers loved the Red Sox, so they did have. But this was post Clemens Red Sox.
But that doesn't really matter.
I don't remember that, but
I don't remember
But
it
I feel
either.
really stupid if we got a.
But I don't
Kingpin
know
part.
that. I don't know that movie like I know other movies.
Okay, I don't either.
I'll say false.
Yeah, I'm sorry. It is true. It is true. Skidmark.
Yes. In the bowling alley scene, he's a tough guy.
Look at that.
One more for Paul Fritz. Fred Dreyer had a modest NFL career, but he had an even better career portraying this LAPD detective on the long-running
Come on.
TV drama. Can you name that show?
This is easy.
This show is still on now.
Oh
I
my
know.
God, that's right in my wheelhouse.
Another hot brunette on that show.
Yeah. With the black curly hair, with the,
Yeah,
the dark
she's
curly
gorgeous.
hair.
That show was on for 36 years.
Dryer. I totally
We're jumping in
remember
for the
this.
steal on this.
Yeah, we want to steal.
You know?
Can't remember.
Sure. Yeah, well,
I totally remember seeing that show. I just can't remember
It
the name.
starts with an M.
Does that start with an M?
need an answer, please.
I remember.
It definitely does not start with that.
I remember Heart to Heart with Stephanie Powers, but that's not it. Oh,
Final answer,
it
gentlemen?
wasn't like Fred Williamson in that movie. in that
Andrew,
TV
you want to
show?
steal
We
this?
don't have it.
Hunter.
Tick tock. Don't know. All right.
Hunter. It's
you guys can steal.
Hunter.
Good call.
Hunter is correct.
Hunter.
We will
Remember
stay
Hunter.
Never
with
watched.
Team Pearl
I do
Connor.
remember
Good show.
Jim Brown had many acting roles after his career was over, including this role of the assassin Fireball in the 1987 hit The Running Man. Is this true or false?
Jim Brown was Fireball in Running Man? I don't know that was Jim Brown. Was
I've
it?
seen Running Man so many times. Like, I
Richard
feel like
Dawson?
Jim Brown was.
I don't
in
think that was Jim Brown.
No, it was Yaphet Kotto, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't Yaphet Kotto.
He was in Running Man.
Was he really?
No, he wasn't.
But you know what?
I just
I don't
remember
think it
Richard-
was
Yeah,
Jim
Yaphet
Brown.
Kotto was the other guy.
I
Yaphet
think-
Kotto was in Running Man, but not. He was one of the guys who was with.
He was with
Schwarzenegger.
Oh, right. So the bat. Yeah, he was one of the.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great Yaphet Kotto reference by you, though. Fantastic.
So Fireball, but it seems like it makes sense. We screwed up on Roger Clemens. I'd hate to. He's like, who are the bad guys?
Jim Brown did a lot of.
Remember the. Oh,
There was Buzzsaw.
Yeah.
That like sort of fat guy with the.
Wasn't there a hockey goalie who killed people?
Hope so.
Oh yeah, something like that. Too.
I don't remember it. What do you take a guess?
I'm gonna say false.
I'm sorry, the answer is true. Jim Brown played Fireball.
Wow.
Makes sense.
Look at that.
Oh, Team
Oh,
Pearl Connor
man.
wins anyway, so congratulations, gentlemen.
You did?
Yeah, believe it or not.
Hunter.
That's a great American hero. Okay, don't go away. We are taking a trip in the box score time machine. What is it? Oh, of course, it's the Ram Heavy Duty. With its best-in-class towing, torque, and horsepower, and flux capacitor. Yeah, we don't need no stinking DeLorean to travel through time. It's all about Ram. Guts, glory, Ram. We're closing up shop here at the Box Score Bar. Guys, you had a tremendous show yesterday. We're going to hop on the time machine and look at that. You had MLB Hall of Famer Pedro Martinez in studio, and he talked about a classic story about him hopping into the hot tub all butt naked with some other guys. Now, Paulie, how far away is this from your comfort zone?
Oh, naked in a hot tub with a bunch of bros? I mean, I never played a team sport to that level where you could ignore things. I mean, you play sports and there's certain things you ignore. I remember I was a wrestler. I mean, technically I was a member of the team. And the things you do in wrestling that you would not do, let's say 10 minutes later outside a wrestling practice facility.
You can get away with it during competition,
Right,
but
like-
laying in a tub with a bunch of
Like
guys.
whether if you're on the mat in a gym somewhere or you're just at your buddy's house one afternoon.
Like in wrestling, you could easily
We wouldn't
accidentally
do the
grab
same.
someone's, I'll just say it, balls during practice
But no
or
one
the
thinks
event.
twice about that.
And then, but if you 10 minutes later you were talking to your friend and you accidentally grabbed his man region, there's almost no excuse.
Almost no excuse.
Yeah.
Even if you're like you start like slap boxing or wrestle or something,
Right.
you still don't grab
Unless
the
there's
other
an
guy's
attraction there
man
between the
region.
two of you and there's an understanding, and then that's all well.
But let's
good, and that's
assume
fine.
there's not.
Assuming there's not, that would be extremely awkward and inappropriate
Right.
to do that.
There's no safe word said there. All right, well, the Pedro didn't just sit down for a nice chat with the boss. He actually gave you guys some pitching tips.
Okay, I got a guy on first.
Do for a long time though.
Buck? That's a buck? Yeah, of course. So wait, you can't, what's the rule? Anything below the waist?
No, you can't do that.
Just pitch, will you?
That's a buck.
I give up.
You'll be giving up so many runs. You're watching it on TV every day.
Yeah.
Built like now, this one looks like a
Fritzy's
Sandy
built like Schilling.
Sandy Koufax. Yeah, that'll be
Coming back.
a lot of doo-doo. but the best mechanics right here.
Nice, nice. That was great. The Paulie's initiated a lot of these things where we reenact moments or do theatrical things, whether it's something sports or movie related. It was great doing that with Pedro, the 3-time Cy Young winner, World Series champ with the Red Sox. Even though he said that what would be coming out of my hand would be a lot of doo-doo on the mound, it was still very very amusing, and it was very cool to even if it's something negative, the fact that it's Pedro Martinez, I'll take that.
Hey, McLovin, how did the whole transition with the Rich Eisen show go? Did the conference calls pay off?
Oh, I think we should have had 3 more conference calls because
Got a little bumpy.
it was amazing. Like all this preparation for it. Then the guys just sort of walked in and said, "Hey, what's going on?" We all like, there was a lot of bro hugs.
Yeah.
They sat down. We walked out and got lunch. They did a show. We ate lunch.
Yeah, there were
That's
big,
pretty
there were
much
big
how it went
concerns
down.
about like plugs and wires and things that
There were people running
an
around.
hour in advance. That, had
That
to be
being
taken-
said, you know what? To go a little easier on him, I can understand if you're going into a new studio with a new show with no prep time in that room and you have to walk in, plug in, and go on air in 3 minutes, I wouldn't be comfortable. And nothing on a conference call, but that being said, nothing on a conference call can make me more comfortable.
Can't simulate.
You can't simulate it. So it's almost like you got to get to the building and maybe get there the day before, the night before, and do a walkthrough, which Seat and I, when we go on the road, we love to have even 5 minutes in the studio we're going to use the next day. I just got to see, where's the bathroom? Where's the printer? Where's the desk? Where's the plugs? Is there a talkback? Little things that make you comfortable.
Just so
And the
it's not so totally foreign
Yes.
when you're walking in, right?
But at the end of the day, as long as Dan's mic works, almost everything else can be dealt with.
Well, that's the thing that should have provided a lot of comfort yesterday was that the studio that they were sitting down in had just worked for the 3 hours
Yes.
before. So it's like, all right, starting there, you're pretty good.
Yeah.
And that's a good place to ask Fritzy, who's on tomorrow?
Tomorrow we'll talk to Turner Sports NBA TV analyst Brent Barry. It's been a while since he's been on.
He
So
didn't ask
will
how
be back
long
with
he's
us.
been on. He just wants to
Oh, he didn't ask that. We just learned a little while ago that Mr. Big Shaquille O'Neal will be part of Friday's show. So Brent Barry tomorrow so far, and Shaq on Friday.
You didn't answer his question.
Fantastic. He doesn't have to. All right, thank you, gentlemen. We are back tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern right here in Audience, Channel 239 on DirecTV. The podcast available on iTunes or at podcast1.com. Cheers.
I don't know a lot about sports, but I can drink a lot of beer.
My motto is simple. C's get degrees.
Need a long, inappropriate hug? I'm your man.
I think I'm smarter than you, because I probably am.
Hey! Thanks for watching the box score. Holy cow!